Measurements in feet and inches are reported in two different ways, either as decimal feet, as they are in the question, or to the nearest feet, inches, and fractions of an inch, often to the nearest half, quarter, eighth, 16th. I think you get the idea. In this particular question, we've been asked to take these measurements, 1.872 feet and 0.356 feet, and convert each to feet, inches, and fractions of an inch, specifically to the nearest 16th of an inch. Let's have a look. In the first question, we have 1.872 feet. Therefore, we know that we have one whole foot and also 0.872 portions of a foot. Rather than reporting this as a decimal, as portions of a foot as a decimal, let's convert this part to inches. Because we know that there are 12 inches in every 1 foot, this equality gives us our conversion factor. We'll have to multiply by 12 inches over 1 foot. In other words, to take feet and convert to inches, we're multiplying by 12. So we have 1 whole foot and then 0.872 times 12, or 10.464 inches. In other words, we have 1 whole foot, 10 whole inches, and then 0.464 parts of an inch. It's this parts of an inch that we're going to resolve as inches in the nearest 16th. Think of it this way. If I think of this as a fraction, 0.464 is a fraction with 1 as the denominator. What we're being asked to do is make sure that our denominator is 16. Okay. How do we turn 1 into 16? Well, we'll multiply it by 16. But if I only change the denominator to 16, that changes the value. So I'm going to have to multiply the numerator by 16 as well. So to convert portions of an inch to the nearest 16th, we multiply top and bottom by 16. If we were to convert to the nearest eighth, we multiply top and bottom by 8. To the nearest 32nd, multiply top and bottom by 32, and so on. All right, so we've got 1 whole foot, 10 whole inches, and 7.36 over 16 parts of an inch. We're never going to leave a fraction with a decimal in the numerator, so you'll round the numerator here to the nearest 1, or the nearest whole number. So 7.36 is rounded to 7 over 16. Altogether, then, we have 1 whole foot, 10 whole inches, and 7/16 of an inch. Often, this answer will be given in this notation as well in various applications, including architectural ones, as 1 foot dash 10 and 7/16 of an inch. Either of these notations is perfectly acceptable. Let's look at the second problem. 0.356 feet. So how many whole feet are there here? None. But how many whole inches? Well, if we have 0.356 parts of a foot, we'll convert that to inches by multiplying by 12 inches per 1 foot. That gives us 4.272 inches. In other words, it gives us 4 whole inches and then 0.272 parts of an inch. Once again, we'll take this parts of an inch to the nearest 16th, and we'll do that by multiplying numerator and denominator by 16. So that gives us 4 inches and 4.352 over 16 parts of an inch. Again, we're going to round that numerator to the nearest whole number. So we have 4 and 4/16 of an inch. But 4 over 16 can be reduced. If you can reduce the fraction, you absolutely should. So our final answer is 4 and 1/4 inches. So even though we were asked for inches to the nearest 16th in the question, because we were able to simplify 4 over 16 to 1 over 4, that's the answer that we will give. Let's look at 2 more examples. First, we'll take 12.335 feet and convert that once again to feet, inches, and fractions of an inch to the nearest 16th. We'll go a little faster this time. Let's ask ourselves again, though, how many whole feet we have. Well, we have 12 whole feet. And how many parts of a foot? That's 0.335 parts of a foot. Of course, we'll convert that to inches by multiplying by 12 inches over 1 foot. That gives us 12 feet plus 4.02 inches. In other words, 4 whole inches plus 0.02 portions of an inch. It's the parts of an inch that will convert to the nearest 16th by multiplying top and bottom by 16. That gives us 12 whole feet plus 4 whole inches plus 0.32 over 16 parts of an inch. Rounding that to the nearest whole number gives us 0. So there are no 16ths of an inch. And our final answer is 12 feet and 4 inches. Or 12 feet and 4 inches in a more common architecture notation. And finally, we're asked to convert 53.663 inches to feet, inches, and fractions of an inch. The easiest way, if not the shortest, to do this is to take this measurement in inches and convert it first to feet. So we'll take 53.663 inches and multiply that by 1 foot divided by 12 inches. So we'll take 53.663 and divide it by 12. That gives us 4.4719 feet. Now that we're in feet, let's follow the same path we have before. We have 4 whole feet plus 0.4719 parts of a foot, and it's the parts of a foot that will convert to inches by multiplying by 12 inches over 1 foot. That gives us 4 whole feet plus 5.6628. In other words, we have 4 whole feet, 5 whole inches, and 0.6628 parts of an inch, which will multiply by 16 over 16. That gives us 4 feet plus 5 inches plus 10.61 over 16 inches. Once again, rounding the numerator to the nearest whole number, we get 4 feet and 5 and 11/16 of an inch.